He was never supposed to fall in love with a ghost. But then again, love doesn't always follow the rules. After the sudden loss of his wife, Theo retreated to the lake house he'd inherited from his grandmother in order to grieve in peace. He found solace in painting the beautiful scenery, finding comfort in the rhythm of the waves and the whisper of the wind through the trees. It was a lonely existence, but he was grateful for the solitude. That was until he started hearing music. At first it was just a faint melody carried on the wind, like the echo of a forgotten dream. Then it grew, become a full-blown symphony that seemed to rise from the depths of the lake itself. The music was haunting, beautiful, and utterly mysterious. Theo found himself drawn to it, compelled to uncover its source. As the days went by, the music became a constant presence in Theo's life. It led him to the water's edge, where he would stand, mesmerized, listening to the eerie tunes. And then he saw, emerging from the lake. She was like a creature of myth, half woman, half water. Her skin was the color of moonlight, her eyes like pools of liquid silver. She moved with an otherworldly grace, and the music flowed from her like a tangible thing. Her name was Cora, and she told Theo that she was the music. She'd been trapped in the lake for decades, unable to move on because of the unfinished business that bound her to this world. Theo felt an immediate connection with Cora, a sense of familiarity that transcended the boundaries of life and death. He began visiting her every day, bringing her stories from the outside world and listening to her tales of the past. He fell in love with her ethereal beauty and the haunting melody that was her essence. But there was a darkness beneath the surface of their idyllic romance. Cora was a siren, a mythical creature whose very nature was to lure men to their doom. She had been pulled into the lake many years ago, and now she was trapped there, unable to find peace. She told Theo that she had taken many lovers over the years, but none of them had been able to help her break free from the lake's grasp. Despite the danger, Theo was determined to help Cora. He wanted to free her from the lake and finally put her spirit to rest. Together they worked on a plan, hoping that with Theo's love and help, Cora could finally move on. But as their love deepened, so did the darkness around them. Theo began to hear whispers in the wind, voices that spoke of a terrible tragedy that had happened in the lake many years ago. He discovered that Cora wasn't just any siren. She was the daughter of the lake itself, and her spirit was bound to it by a curse. To break the curse, Theo had to make a choice. He could either give up his love for Cora and let her go, or he could stay with her and face the darkness together. In the end, love won out. Theo chose to stay with Cora, even though it meant that he would be giving up his life as he knew it. He was willing to risk everything for her, even his own soul. As the full moon rose in the night sky, Theo and Cora's love reached its peak. In that moment of passion, the boundary between life and death became blurred, and Theo found himself falling deeper and deeper into the lake's embrace. When he finally surfaced, he was no longer the same man who had come before. He was now part of the lake, part of the curse, and part of Cora. They were one being, and together they ruled over the lake, forever bound by their love and the darkness that surrounded them. The townspeople found Theo's abandoned boat on the shore the next morning, and a search party was quickly organized. They found his cabin empty, his paint still wet on the easel, his brushes lying on the floor as if he'd simply vanished into thin air. Some said that Theo had drowned, that he'd fallen victim to the lake's deadly embrace. Others said that he'd run away, that he'd grown tired of the world and sought solace in the water. But none of them knew the truth. Theo was gone, but he wasn't dead. He was living out his days in the lake, bound to it by his love for a ghost.